Okay, we're going to do problem number 73, section 1.4, page 44 in the textbook. The narrowing gender gap. Since the founding of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission and the passage of equal pay laws, the gulf between men's and women's earnings has continued to close gradually. At the beginning of 1990, represented by the variable t equal to 0, women's wages were 68% of men's wages. And by the beginning of the year 2000, or 10 years later, t equal to 10, women's wages were projected to be 80% of men's wages. If this gap between women's and men's wages continued to narrow linearly, what percent of men's wages were women's wages expected to be at the beginning of 2004? Okay. To go ahead and find the answer to that, I need to set up a formula to do it. And the two variables here I'm going to call t and y. T is the time. Actually, the times starting in 1990 at t equals 0, and then going to the year 2000 for t equal to 10. And then y is women's wages as a percent of men's wages. Okay, they also said that the relationship between these two variables is linear, and that's important because we know what kind of formula we need, a linear relationship between the t and the y. And knowing that, all I really need is just a couple points. And if I look back in the problem here, it says in 1990, or t equals 0, women's wages were 68% of men's wages. So there's one point of relationship between the two variables. And then another point, in the year 2000, t equal to 10, it's projected to be 80%. So I just need a formula, a linear formula, relationship between t and y that goes through these 2 points. Now, I notice that one of these points is a y-intercept point. So I'm going to use the form y equals mx plus b to develop my equation instead of the point-slope form. I still need the slope, though, and I've got a couple points, so that's not going to be a problem. Just let the first point here, 0.68, be my x1, y1, and my second point, the 1080, be my x2, y2. So plugging into that, I would have 80 subtract 68 divided by 10 subtract 0, which would be 12/10, which I could rewrite as 6/5. Now plugging everything into the equation there, and using t as my input variable, I have y equals 6/5 t, and then plus my y-intercept is 68. So here is the relationship between time and women's wages as a percent of men's wages. Now finally, to answer the equation, what is this percentage in the year 2004? So in 2004, what does t have to be? T has to be 14. So if this relationship holds 4 years later, we can get an estimate of that percentage. And this calculates out to be 0.8%. So in 2004, women's wages will be estimated to be 84.8% of men's wages.